Ghosts and ghouls, demons and aliens, monsters and worse. Only here on Ghost or What, the best channel for original scary stories. Our next story is This Is Not Your House. We've heard about people haunted by dead people, reluctant to leave the places where they died. Maybe it was in the middle of the street. Maybe the house where they lived their entire lives. Or wide and beautiful land. Not all stories are like this. Some cases are unexplainable. There are terrors on this earth that are beyond our comprehension, and sometimes these kinds of nightmares just happen to collide. Carmen, Peter, Nick, and Carter have been friends since high school. They have gone through the ups and downs of living together for years. They have been there for each other, every time, and this wouldn't be the exception. Each individual in this group had just had the worst week of their lives. Carmen faced an unlikely stranger at a bus stop. Peter lost his job taking care of a house. Nick lost his fondness for his favorite place in the city, and Carter sold his family's farm for a desperate price. The one thing they needed more than anything else in the world was a quiet and peaceful weekend among friends, so they could share every bit of the horrifying experiences they were forced to live. There was only one problem, and her name was Catherine. She had joined their group in the last year of high school, and they immediately embraced her as another best friend. But Catherine had had a perfectly normal week, just a little bit busier than normal, because she had been in charge of planning the getaway weekend for her group of friends. She hoped they would like the house she rented for them. Upon their arrival at the house at sunset, Catherine explained, "It might seem a little sketchy and old at first, but look, the neighborhood is super quiet, and the price was so worth it. We have this whole house to ourselves for one weekend, and for half the price as any other place." They all enjoyed the sweet deal enough to quiet down all the suspicions they might have about the house. None of them even imagined that they wouldn't even last the whole weekend. In fact, as soon as they stepped inside the house, all the lights went out. "Fantastic," Carmen cursed their luck. Peter looked a little more unsettled. "Wait, the door was unlocked, right? Doesn't that feel odd to you guys?" he asked, but Catherine waved off his concerns and insisted that the owner of the house probably left it open for them before leaving. So all five of them turned on their phones' flashlights, picked up their bags, and went along to pick their bedrooms for the night. It wouldn't be so easy, though. Nick picked a bedroom at random and was struck by the strange smell of roses in the air. Then he took a seat on the bed and immediately jumped out of it. The bed was warm, as if someone had been lying there until mere seconds ago. His defenses immediately perked up. Carter was still looking for a bedroom he liked when he heard someone scream. He followed the sound until he found Catherine, standing on top of a chair in one of the bedrooms. She was shaking with fear because in front of her was standing a truly awful black cat with its fur all dirty, covered in dust, dead leaves, spider webs, and possibly stained with blood. Carter stomped his feet and yelled, but it was so difficult to get the disgusting cat to get out of the room and escape through the window. Catherine was a little shocked, but nothing compared to what came next. A loud and high-pitched noise came from downstairs. The group of friends met in the hallway, all of them looking very uneasy. They walked down the stairs slowly and found a kettle boiling in the kitchen, but none of them had put that on. They were still standing there in the middle of the kitchen when Catherine screamed. they turned around and found the source of her surprise. There was an old woman dressed in all black, standing just a couple of steps away from them. "I've been waiting for you," the woman said. Then, all at once, the flashlights of all their phones flickered until they went out. "What the hell?" Peter cried out. They were all getting very nervous. It's okay. We just need a candle. She's probably the owner of the house. Ma'am, can you give us a candle?" Catherine asked to pitch black darkness around them. Not a second later, a candle was lit up behind them on the kitchen counter. They turned around, but the light of the candle revealed they were completely alone. No, not again!" Carmen started sobbing. Catherine didn't understand why all her friends were so scared, but she was determined to give them the perfect weekend they deserved. So Catherine picked up that candle by herself and went upstairs in search of that strange woman. She had to be around there somewhere, and this had to be a terrible joke. Once upstairs, Catherine wasn't feeling so brave. Every bedroom was empty, and the strange woman was nowhere to be found. But then she reached the bedroom that Nick had picked. She pushed open the door slowly and gasped. There was a man in that bed, a man wearing a black suit and lying there breathless. A corpse. Catherine shut the door quickly and ran toward the stairs, but where were those stairs? She went from one end of the hallway to the other and over every corner, but she couldn't find her way out. "Carmen! Nick! Carter! Peter! Someone help me!" Catherine started yelling. She went toward the window at the end of the hallway and tried to open it to no avail. She started hitting the glass and screaming, "Help! Help! Someone please help me!" That's when she saw them. Her friends were standing outside in the garden, all of them dressed in black and holding candles, staring at her desperate display with completely emotionless frowns. What was going on? Why were they dressed for a funeral? Why did they leave without her? Catherine screamed again, louder than ever, with pure agony exploding out of her. Then she felt a hand on her shoulders, and when she turned around, she was blinded by a powerful light. She had never been so scared in her entire life. For a moment, she was sure that was the light at the end of the tunnel, and she was definitely dead. When Catherine opened her eyes, she realized she was kneeling on the floor crying, and her friends were all around her with the flashlights on, making sure she was okay. The nightmare was over. But they had to get out of there as fast as possible. Besides, Catherine never told them if, when she opened her eyes and saw them all standing there, if she maybe saw someone else too. Some evil woman dressed in black. Some dead man in a suit. Or maybe something much, much worse than all that. Do you think that was the end? The terror never ends. Subscribe to our channel to hear more horror stories, only on Ghost or What.